Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6. Here are the headlines of this hour. After nearly 3 months of tense standoff, India and China agree to disengage troops in Doklam. External Affairs Ministry confirms withdrawal of its soldiers. China says it will make appropriate changes in the region. CBI court sentences Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Singh to 10 years in jail in a rape case. Punishment pronounced in Rohtak Suneria district jail. AIADMK party passes resolution to expel party Deputy General Secretary TV Dinakaran. Says all appointments made by Dinakaran and Party General Secretary Sasikala are invalid. And at least 5 people have died as Hurricane Harvey leaves a trail of destruction in Houston, city of the U.S. Hurricane causes catastrophic flooding in many parts of Texas. Many Indians are reported marooned. Our top story of the day: after nearly 3 months of a tense standoff between India and China at Doklam, both countries have agreed to disengage at the disputed site. Foreign ministries of both the countries confirmed that troops were being withdrawn, even as China insisted its forces would continue to patrol the disputed area. The breakthrough comes just a week ahead of the BRICS summit being hosted by China between the 3rd to the 5th of September, which Prime Minister Modi could attend.
In a major diplomatic breakthrough, India and China on Monday decided to end their lengthy standoff at Doklam near the Sikkim border. The Ministry of External Affairs said both countries had maintained diplomatic communication and agreed to expeditious disengagement of border personnel at Doklam.
It is a tremendous diplomatic victory for our country that both the countries' armies have agreed to pull back. This standoff was going on since about 2 months, and despite Chinese threats through media that we should withdraw, otherwise there will be a war, we were hanging on there. It was a very good decision on the part of Modi government, and whatever we have pressurized to the entire world, we have come out victorious, and all the credit goes to the government decision to hang on there, and that's why we have got a diplomatic victory.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry told media in Beijing that China will make adjustments according to the situation in Doklam.
印方呢已经将越界的人员和设备全部撤回了边界的印方一侧，中方的现场人员对此进行了确认。中方呢将继续按照历史界约规定行使主权权利，维护领土主权。那么我也讲了，鉴于现场的情况已经出现了变化，中方呢将根据现地的情况做出必要的调整和部署。
Defense experts hailed it as a big diplomatic victory for India.
The disengagement protocol is adhered to in a mutually acceptable manner. It would be a very major gain for India and China, and the political leadership in both sides should be commended for the manner in which they have handled it. India has shown very, very commendable levels of restraint, firmness, and also I think a certain respect for the protocol of how to deal with a major power like China in such a situation.
Last week, Home Minister Rajnath Singh hinted at a possible amicable solution to the border standoff, indicating that India was working to resolve the issue peacefully.
दोकलाम में एक डेडलॉक भारत और चाइना के बीच चल रहा है, लेकिन मैं समझता हूं कि उसका समाधान जल्दी निकलेगा. चीन भी अपनी तरफ से सकारात्मक पहल करेगा.
The intense standoff had caught global attention as well. Both Russia and the United States had urged China to help maintain peace and engage with India through dialogue.
This message will go that both such big countries can solve their problems among themselves without involving any nation like UNO and other countries also.
The disengagement at Doklam comes just days ahead of the BRICS summit in China in the first week of September, easing tensions between both countries.
China was bullying a small country like Bhutan, and it was also grabbing the strategic space of India. It is good that Now China has understood the reality of 2017. Good for regional peace. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha television with camera person Munish in Delhi.
And now to the big national story. The CBI Special Court has sent Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh to jail for 10 years. The quantum of sentence in a rape case was delivered amid heavy security with a high alert situation in both Punjab and Haryana. After the judgment, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar summoned an emergency meeting of top officials of the state. Both Khattar and his Punjab counterpart Amrinder Singh have appealed to the people to maintain calm.
The special CBI court has awarded a 10-year jail term to Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim along with a 65,000 rupees fine. The sentence was pronounced in a special court set up inside the heavily cordoned Sunaria jail near Rohtak, where the 50-year-old cell-style godman is lodged after his conviction by the Panchkula CBI court. CBI Special Court Judge Jagdeep Singh was flown to Rohtak in a chopper from Chandigarh to pronounce the sentence.
This is a judgment on expected lines. The maximum sentence has been awarded, and the facts and circumstances of this case also require the maximum sentence to be given, because the facts are extremely shocking and full of immoral conduct.
After the judgment, Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh appealed to the people to accept the judgment and stay calm.
They have found him guilty and they have sentenced him. So there is nothing for us to say. You can only ask that this must be accepted by the people और शांति रहे. कोई ऐसी हम ऐसे कोई बात नहीं चाहिए हमें जहाँ इसमें कोई गड़बड़ हो. ये जो अदालत ने अपना सुना दिया. Now you must accept that.
The Congress welcomed the CBI court judgment, while CPM's Brinda Karat said Ram Rahim deserved a bigger sentence.
It should also serve as a deterrent to anyone, individuals or institutions who believe that the law can be made subservient or law can be violated at will.
एक बलात्कार का केस नहीं है, ये दो बलात्कार के केस हैं और इसलिए हम तो समझते हैं इनको मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट मिलना चाहिए था और मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट जज ने नहीं दिया. मैं समझती हूँ कि इसके खिलाफ अपील होना चाहिए और मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट के लिए अपील होना चाहिए.
Fearing a rerun of violence by Dera Sacha Sauda followers, Haryana and Punjab were on high alert. Rohtak was turned into a fortress. A multi-level security cordon manned by police and 23 companies of paramilitary forces was put in place around the city. Shoot-at-sight warnings were issued for miscreants as army remained on standby in areas where Section 144 was imposed. Sirsa, where thousands of Dera followers have been camping, was also heavily guarded. Heavy security was deployed at Haryana, Delhi and Haryana-UP borders to avoid any violence. Mayhem erupted in Panchkula and Sirsa after Gurmeet Ram Rahim's conviction on Friday and spread to other cities of Punjab, Haryana and the national capital. 38 people died in the violence that left over 250 injured. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court slammed the Gujarat government for dragging its feet in the trial of self-styled godman Asaram Bapu. On Monday, the Apex Court asked the State Council why the rape victim has not been examined till date. It also directed the state government to file an affidavit in this regard and posted the matter for further hearing after Diwali. Earlier in April, a three-judge bench of the top court had directed the state to expedite hearing against Asaram. Now to Tamil Nadu, where the AIADMK on Monday ousted the party Deputy General Secretary TV Dinakaran from the post in a resolution adopted in a meeting convened by Chief Minister E. Palanisamy. The decision to remove the jail party General Secretary V.K. Sasikala from the post will be taken at the party's General Council meeting to be convened soon.
The AIADMK party on Monday passed a resolution to expel party Deputy General Secretary TV Dinakaran. Another resolution was passed stating that all appointments made by Dinakaran and Party General Secretary Sasikala are invalid. The decision was taken at a meeting headed by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palanisamy at the party headquarters in Chennai. However, the party claimed Dinakaran was sacked from the post of Deputy General Secretary on August 10th itself. The meeting, attended by ministers, MLAs and senior functionaries, also decided to convene a General Council meet to remove jailed party chief V.K. Sasikala.
The resolution itself speaks. You go through it. It is very vague. Why are you saying? You go through the resolution. Why are you not?
Today's meeting also decided to initiate legal steps to retrieve party mouthpieces Namadu MGR and Jaya TV from the Dinakaran camp. Earlier, Dinakaran removed Electricity Minister P. Thangamani from the post of the party's Namakkal District Secretary. He also sacked Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palanisamy from the post of Salem District Secretary on Sunday.
Irrelevant. It doesn't have any legal standing. We are using Jaya TV and Namadu MGR as the gazette of the party. We are not misusing Jaya TV or Namadu MGR. So it is a private property where you don't have any rights to talk about it. And heights of foolishness, you are talking all rubbish. So my demand is this: ask these fellows to, we know what all list of properties they have.
Dinakaran is actually resorting to whimsical actions to try and somehow gain some media space in Tamil Nadu. He has already been ousted by the party, by the AIADMK. That is what we have heard. His appointment had been rendered to be illegal. So what powers does Dinakaran have to take action against someone like the Chief Minister Palaniswamy?
At least 21 AIADMK MLAs and MPs supporting Dinakaran were missing from the meeting. The 21 rebel MLAs have been demanding the removal of Palanisamy as Chief Minister ever since the merger. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Aam Aadmi Party has retained the Bhavana Assembly seat in Delhi. The party's candidate Ramchandar bagged 59,886 votes, while the BJP candidate finished a distant second. Here are more details.
Celebrations broke out among Aam Aadmi Party workers as results came in that candidate Ramchandar won the Bhavana by-election by a margin of 24,052 votes. The election was seen as a crucial test of AAP's popularity after the nosedive it witnessed since the spectacular 2015 assembly elections.
कार्यकर्ताओं को, जो भी हमारे आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता हैं, समस्त कार्यकर्ताओं को और पार्टी के सभी नेताओं के कारण ये बढ़िया जीत हुई है। विकास को देखते हुए हमारे विधानसभा के सभी सम्मानीय बड़े बुजुर्गों ने, माताओं बहनों ने ये जो है एक तरफा वोट दिए।
The BJP, which came in a distant second, had fielded AAP turncoat Ved Prakash as its candidate. The Congress had fielded three-time MLA from Bhavana, Surinder Kumar. Though the Congress seemed to be leading in the initial rounds, it was pushed back to the third position in the latter half of the counting.
मैं इसको हार जीत में नहीं देख रहा। मेरा काम था बुराई को छोड़कर सच्चाई की तरफ आना। आज मैं पब्लिक से ठोक कर कहता हूँ, केजरीवाल एक बहुत बड़ा धोखेबाज है, बहुत बड़ा तानाशाही है। फिर डंके की चोट पर कहता हूँ, हार जीत से बहुत ऊपर हूँ। अगर मुझे हार जीत का कोई मलाल होता तो मैं तो 5 साल के लिए बना था।
Ved Prakash, the legislator from Bhavana, had resigned from his assembly and AAP membership in March this year to join the BJP, necessitating a by-poll. Bhavana is one of the largest constituencies in Delhi in terms of number of voters. The by-poll was held on August 23rd and saw a turnout of 45%. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu's Telugu Desam party is won by a big margin in the bitterly fought Nandyal Assembly by-election on Monday. TDP's Bhuma Brahmananda Reddy got over 27,000 votes against the YSR Congress candidate. He was able to establish a quick lead over Shilpa Chandra Mohan Reddy of the YSR Congress and stayed ahead. The Nandyal contest was seen as a bellwether for the assembly elections in the state and national elections, both to be held in 2019. And in Goa, Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar won the Panjim Assembly by-election, defeating his nearest rival Gireesh Chodankar of the Congress by 4,803 votes. Parrikar polled 9,862 votes against his opponent. BJP candidate and Goa Health Minister Vishwajit Rani also managed to retain his Valpoi Assembly seat by defeating his nearest rival by 10,066 votes in a by-election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated both the BJP leaders for their victories.
Getting a 33% lead margin, almost equivalent to the vote of opposition, is a big thing. 63.1% voting makame.
So what are the factors which has gone in your favor?
Performance and connect with people openly.
In other news, the National Sports Talent Search Portal was launched in New Delhi on Monday. Addressing the gathering, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu said that sport empowers individuals, transforms communities and inspires populations for positive change. The Vice President also said that sports plays an important role in improving physical and mental health and fostering active citizenship and social inclusion. Advocating the need for improving sports infrastructure, Vice President Naidu said that sport and play enhanced child development, learning and encouraged better academic performance.
कहाँ प्रतिभा है उसका पहचानना है, ये बहुत जरूरी है। इसलिए जो पोर्टल का आयोजन किया है क्रीड़ा मंत्रालय ने, युवा मंत्रालय ने, सचमुच में एक अच्छा कदम इन्होंने उठाया और एक इतिहास में इसको रचा जाएगा। भारत का खेल जगत में जहाँ-जहाँ टैलेंट है वो टैलेंट को पहचानने के लिए, उनको आगे मौका देने के लिए, प्रोत्साहन देने के लिए एक पारदर्शी सिस्टम व्यवस्था बनाया।
Senior Congress leader Emmit Patel took oath as Rajya Sabha MP on Monday. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu administered the oath of secrecy to the Congress leader. Finance Minister and Leader of the House Arun Jaitley as well as Leader of the Opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad were present at Emmit Patel's oath ceremony. Patel retained his Rajya Sabha seat after polls in Gujarat on the 8th of August, even though few Congress MLAs deserted the party days before the election and cross-voted. The other two Rajya Sabha seats from Gujarat were bagged by BJP President Amit Shah and Union Minister Smriti Irani, both of whom took oath as Rajya Sabha MPs on the 25th of August. And here are more national news updates in Nationwide. The Supreme Court today rejected the pleas of the Federation of Indian Mineral Industries and Vedanta seeking to scrap an e-auction of iron ore in Karnataka. FIMI had submitted that instead of an e-auction, there should be long-term agreement between producers and buyers as part of the new mechanism. But a bench of justices said that they do not accept the suggestions. The Delhi High Court today dismissed Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's plea, questioning the decision of a judge to expedite hearing of a defamation suit filed by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley against him and 5 other Aam Aadmi Party leaders. A division bench dismissed the plea, saying that it is devoid of merit. The Gorkha Janmukti Morcha chief of the outfit Bimal Gurung has alleged a conspiracy by some hill leaders against him. In an audio message, Gurung warned these leaders that if they discuss any other issue other than Gorkha land with the West Bengal government, they would not be allowed to return to the hills. The meeting has been convened by Mamata Banerjee-led government, requesting a dialogue to restore normalcy in Darjeeling Hills and will be held on the 29th of August. Sidelined AIADMK leader TV Dinakaran today removed Electricity Minister P. Thangamani from the post of the party's Namakkal district secretary. He replaced him with S. Anabagan. In fact, Dinakaran has already removed a number of ministers and other functionaries from various positions in the AIADMK and gave them to his supporters. The CBI today questioned Karti Chidambaram for the second time in a corruption case of alleged clearance given to a media group owned by Peter Mukherjee and his wife Indrani for bringing foreign funds into their venture. As per sources, a firm indirectly controlled by Karti received money from INX Media run by the Mukherjees, who are currently in jail, charged with the murder of Indrani's daughter. On to the top international story. In Houston and nearby regions remain under siege for the third day on Monday after torrential rains and surging flood waters showed no signs of abating, caused by Hurricane Harvey, which hit Texas on Friday. 5 people are reported to be killed so far, and it's a number expected to rise in the coming days. Meanwhile, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has informed that around 200 Indian students at the University of Houston are marooned. She also said that rescue work is being overseen by the Consulate General in Houston in the US.
At least 5 people have died as Hurricane Harvey left a trail of destruction in America's 4th biggest city, Houston. Harvey dumped close to 25 inches of rain, causing life-threatening catastrophic flooding in parts of southeast Texas since its landfall near Rockport on Friday evening. While more than 1,000 people were evacuated Sunday evening, at least 5,000 more are still reported stuck in low-lying areas, some of which are completely submerged. With electricity poles knocked down, power supply to more than 3 lakh people has been affected. Many highways and streets throughout the region are flooded, making normal travel impossible. With both airports of Houston shut, air travel too remains suspended.
I first noticed the water was up over the curb, and within about 2 hours we had water in the house. And we haven't heard any official word from any official here. But we out here, mayor, we looking for you, city councilman, we looking for you. Anybody of importance, we looking for you.
We know one lady, she won't come out, she's handicapped. Okay. She's over here on the left side. Right. So we know she's there. We know a couple of houses that's saying they're gonna ride it out. So we're not for sure exactly how many people. Now the water is coming up to your shoulder by the time you get to the end of the corner.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has dispatched 1,800 military personnel to help with the statewide cleanup. Abbott also announced that over 1,000 people in 22 aircrafts, 35 boats and 93 rubbish trucks are conducting search and rescue operations in Houston. US President Donald Trump will visit the storm-ravaged state of Texas on Tuesday. With winds blowing at over 200 kilometers per hour, Harvey is the first Category 4 storm to hit the US mainland in almost 12 years. It has now been downgraded to a tropical storm. Harvey is still lingering over the Houston area, causing severe flooding that is expected to grow worse over the next few days, with a total of up to about 3 feet rain possible through Wednesday. The National Hurricane Center in Miami warned catastrophic flooding was likely to occur in the days ahead. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Thousands of fearful Rohingya Muslim and Rakhine Buddhist civilians have fled to Bangladesh, with 104 people killed. The United Nations and international aid groups were forced to pull out their staff. India also raised serious concern over the violence and has extended its strong support to the Myanmar government.
Myanmar's government has evacuated at least 4,000 villagers amid ongoing clashes in northwestern Rakhine state. Thousands of Rohingya Muslims fled across the border to Bangladesh, but many were told to turn back by Bangladeshi border guards. Thousands of fearful Rohingya Muslims and Rakhine Buddhist civilians have fled the northern part of Rakhine state over the last few days. Meanwhile, dozens of international aid workers who were stationed in Mongdo were seen leaving for Rakhine state's capital Sitwe on Sunday as the situation worsened. The United Nations also pulled out non-essential staff from the area. Pope Francis is expected to travel to Myanmar and Bangladesh later this year for a landmark visit to focus international attention on the stateless Rohingya Muslim minority. The death toll from the violence that erupted on Friday with coordinated attacks by Rohingya insurgents has climbed to 104. The vast majority are militants plus 12 members of security forces and several civilians. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And now let's get you more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. Pakistan postponed a meeting, visit in fact by a US acting Assistant Secretary of State as protests broke out against President Donald Trump's accusations that Islamabad was prolonging the war in Afghanistan. According to a US Embassy spokesperson, a trip by acting Assistant Secretary Alice Wells has been postponed till a mutually convenient time at the request of the Pakistani government. 2 people were killed and 25 others missing in a landslide that took place in Bijie city of southwest China's Guizhou province. The landslide affected 34 households. Rescuers managed to pull out 6 people, among whom 2 were dead. Search for the 25 missing people is still underway. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that he was truly committed to fighting anti-Semitism and all other forms of bigotry during a visit to Israel's National Holocaust Memorial. Guterres is on a 3-day visit to Israel and the Palestinian territories, which is aimed to revive Israeli-Palestinian dialogue. Kenya's Supreme Court ordered the Elections Commission to allow the opposition, which is disputing results of the presidential vote, to have access to its computer servers and electronic devices. The court also said that Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission will have to provide paper documents used to collate the results. And that's all we could pack in on the news at 6. Thank you so much for joining us.